Psycho killer dramas are highly engaging, nail-biting, and one of the most appealing genres which have the ability to create a substantial, worrisome audience. In such psycho killers, we rarely see them dealing with philosophical insights. But one such psycho Indian film which talks about philosophies is Raman Raghav 2.O, directed by Anurag Kashyap. Sindhi Dalwai, commonly known as Raman Raghav, was a serial killer from Pune active during the mid 1960s. This Raman Raghav, aka Psycho Raman, was a notorious serial killer who terrorized the streets of Mumbai in the mid 1960s. He confessed to have killed a total of 41 people. But this film, Raman Raghav 2.0, is Anurag Kashyap's version of the serial killer Raman Raghav. This film is not about him. Whenever people come across the words engaging, rational, profane, and real, then it is evident they are pointing at Anurag Kashyap's body of filmmaking.
So this film is actually about this serial killer talking about his superiority over all the other people who use different excuses to kill.
Raman is a horrible psychopath. From the very beginning, he mentions how he gets inspired by the real serial killer, Raman Raghav. He correlates himself with him and even addresses himself as Sindhu Dalwai. He carries a world for himself wherever he wanders, searching for his soulmate Raghav and killing people. Ramana is completely motiveless and always mentions that he talks to God and God guides him about whom he should kill next. Ramana feels like he's the death god's messenger. Every time an airplane passes by him, he tells himself, "Hey Ramana, yet another Ravana is flying off with someone's Sita," which signifies that not only Raman's, but also there are many crimes that are happening around him. So he perceives it as a positive sign for drawing a murder. He believes in power and superiority over people. There are no significant complications in studying the character of Ramana. His motive is straightforward. If he wants to kill someone, he dials them down. Many times we can see him looking at people strangely with his fingers folded around his eyes. Now what does that signify? Is he looking into the inner animal of people, or is the whole movie happening in his subconscious? Raghav, a drug addict ACP, happens to investigate all the murders that are being committed by Ramana. This character, Raghav, is exceptional to study, as in the whole film, none of his actions lead us to a proper conclusion. He's a character with multiple layers. He is a diligent police officer who tells his girlfriend Simi of his bad activities in order to distance her. He's unaware of what he ends up doing, contradicting to the fact that he has been forced to be the way his father wanted him to be. Despite Raghav being an independent individual, his father doesn't treat him that way. Raghav always wanted a healthy relationship with his father, but he cannot hide from the fact that all the relationships he ruined, his drug addiction to appease his frustration and anger, the people he killed, all these started because of his father, who destroyed Raghav's empathetic and soft side. The director left every insight of this character Raghav as an open end for the audience. We find Raghav being so confusing, impulsive, mentally disturbed, and struggling within himself that makes us feel as if he is suffering from some psychological issues. Is he a bipolar personality? Is Raman triggering Raghav to cut him down? Is he facing some other psychological problems? After a skeptical night sequence at the beginning, Raghav gets onto his other avatar and starts investigating the murders, who the latter day receives a hammer followed by an anonymous phone call. This series of events set the tone and the premise of the film. And here begins the investigation, the hunt of Raghav for the serial killer Ramana, the game between Raman and Raghav. In the opening visuals, we could see two rats fighting with each other and Ramana watching it very closely. Then a cat gets into the picture. Does that cat refer to Raghav and the rat refers to Raman? Or else do the rats refer to the policemen or inhabitants who behave as Raghav? Even when Raman asks for a cigarette in the interrogation scene, we can see an old framework of a cheetah on the wall right to Raghav. Director Anurag Kashyap used these kind of references to portray the whole film as a cat and mouse chase. He used this metaphor to visualize the prime context persistently throughout the film. It is a part of storytelling to set and convey the mood of the film that it's all a cat's hunt for its mouse and cheetah's hunt for its deer. So now the question is, who is the real hunter and who's being hunted? On a basic level, it's an investigation drama where the police Raghav is hunting for the serial killer Raman. So obviously the cat and cheetah refer to Raghav, who's on the hunt for its mouse or deer, Raman. And when we closely observe the actions of Raman, we can see how he always wanted to behave physically as Raghav, right from the beginning to the end of the film. So where is it all coming from? When Raman happened to finish his first murder, he finds his partner Raghav, where he kills someone who does not deserve death. And also Raghav unknowingly rescues Raman from a murder and sets him free. From then, Raman started loving Raghav. Raman finds himself in Raghav. He feels they are both soulmates. There is one particular scene where Raman says, "Why Raghav? Why are you trying to find your love, freedom and soulmate in a woman?" And the whole film works on how Raman conveys this thesis to Raghav. After getting this deeper level of understanding of the main crux of the story, it's evident that it's not Raman who's being hunted, it's Raman who's the hunter. And the whole film is about the hunt for his partner, Raghav. Towards the end, Raghav realizes that both Raman and himself are incomplete without each other. We can slowly see the Raman side of Raghav in many contexts of the film. He kills the neighbor of the drug dealer at the beginning. He kills his girlfriend and her 3 innocent babies by making a revolver. Many different reasons, different contexts, but in the end, even Raghav does the same thing. All these prime contexts of the film are seen in the opening credits itself. It's one of the creepiest, darkest and most disquieting visuals which draw the true colors of Raman and Raghav, and we get a lucid glance about the theme of the film, that is, Raman is incomplete without Raghav. The whole aim of the film is from the idea of the man Raman, who scares people, always gazes at the sky to look at airplanes passing by. He's a man who kills people for no reason. He's motiveless. And then there is another guy, Raghav, a police officer who is the authority, uses all sorts of excuses but does the same thing, kills people. This film is about the serial killer Raman who talks about his superiority over other people who uses different excuses to kill. In a way, it's ultimately a political theme because Raman's intention to kill is very pure, whereas people like Raghav kill because there can be any social conflict like regional or religious reasons or personal reasons like being impulsive or an unconscious attempt or an accidental thing or some other. That is what Raman compares. His killings are a lot purer than all those people who are killing in the name of religion, caste, region in a much irrational way. He's just a killer. And he kills just because he wants to kill, pure and unadorned. Raman proves the insecurity of Raghav, who is the metaphor for many present-day human belief systems. Many people point at psycho killer films and state, why are all the filmmakers majorly focusing on the killings of the psycho killers? Why can't they project how the humans are getting into these ruthless psychopaths? I guess this film, Raman Raghav 2.O, is the only rare film that explicitly answers this question. The film is neither just to showcase the killings of the killer, nor it deals with a complete political theme. The director, Anurag Kashyap, somewhere strikes the perfect balance between them. Considering all these aspects, Raman Raghav 2.0 is one of the most outstanding psychological dramas ever made in Indian cinema.